Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 405 of the MTGGoldfish podcast. I'm Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and we have a huge crew this week. We're coming to you live from Las Vegas from one of our hotel rooms. So we have pretty much the whole Goldfish crew here, starting off with the owner of MTGGoldfish, Richard. How's it going this week, Richard?
Yo, what's up? It's nice.
It's nice.
We had a bone-shattering bass play all last night through our sleep. It was great.
Yes, it was a little bassy. We had some good music going in the Fremont experience down below. But we have other co-hosts, Krim. How are you today, Krim?
Morning. I was nowhere near that. Apparently, there were multiple concerts last night.
Yeah, Krim was watching My Chemical Romance. Right?
Yeah, I went to the When We Were Young festival, so I went and check that out.
And then we also have a couple of bonus guests this week. We have over here Phil, all the way from Germany.
Bonus guest.
Bonus guest. And in the back, Tomer. How's it going today, Tomer?
Good. This is the first time I've been on the main cast since last time of 2018, and then I was banned from it.
Yes, you've been banned for like 3 years for your constant cursing during the last podcast. Yeah.
I'll try my best to hold it in this time, guys.
So anyway, today we're mostly just going to talk about Magic 30 in Vegas, our experiences. We're recording this Sunday morning, so there's one more day of the event that we're going to be going to after we finish recording. But we've had 2 days, a pretty amazing experience. So before we jump into it, a reminder that today's show is brought to you by Card Conduit. And if you're tired of all the hassles that go into selling your Magic cards, Card Conduit's the easiest way to sell your cards. They let you skip over all the hassles of typing and shipping, not shipping, but typing, and all the other effort that goes into it. And they've got a couple of different services. Their curated service lets you send in as many cards as you want with buy list value of $1 or more, and just pay a 5% service fee. And if you want to put in a little effort, you can use their sorted service, where you sort your cards ahead of time and pay just a 2% fee. And no matter what option you choose, you're going to get fast payment and a detailed report with the results. And you can even get another 10% off right now by heading over to cardconduit.com/MTGGoldfish. Card Conduit, they're the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. So thanks to Card Conduit for supporting the show. And let's talk Magic 30. So let's just start with the basics. What is your initial impressions of the event? Let's start with Richard. Richard, what do you think? We've had 2 days so far. What's your first impressions?
All right, we're gonna start off controversially. I think it's really good. So
Really?
day one was scuffed. Okay, let's not make any mistakes about it. So Command Zone was sealed off and was like 50 to 80% empty the whole time, right? And we played outside. But there were outside tables, and then there was an overflow hall where most people didn't know, but once we tweeted out, it filled up. So free play area was kind of scuffed first day. They had some in the main hall, but they were like in these like individual sets. So there would be like 3 or 4 tables, but you know, if you're just looking for a game, it's hard, right? Because you'd have to like float to each set, like, hey, is there space? But by day 2, the outdoor seating got a lot more organized. They added a lot more chairs and tables to the other free play areas, and they used part of the command zone for tournament overflow, and they theoretically opened it up. So I thought it was actually pretty good by day 2.
Is it good though because we figured out a hack to make it less crappy by going and playing outside the event in the outdoors?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. So Wizards planning was scuffed, right? But I think, you know, the staff on site and everyone running it like kind of pulled it together, and I dare say we have more free play area than Las Vegas, right? If you count all the outdoor seating and all the indoor seating and all that, I think there's actually more free play area. So I think they pulled it together, price withstanding, and you know, Black Lotus Lounge and stuff. Ignore that, right? But, all right, you guys.
Okay.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, okay.
I've enjoyed myself, I'll say that, but I will say I can't give Wizards credit for the community discovering that you can go outside the event and find a table outdoors to play on. Like, I give the community a lot of credit for that. Like, it could have been a very disastrous event when you went in and there was literally no place to play, literally no place to sit down and like eat your lunch or anything, and the community figured out a way to make the best of that situation. So I think that's really impressive. But I'm not going to give Wizards, I think, points for organization because the community figured out a way to work around, like, the bad planning. Like, the problem, boy, when it comes down to it, there was one problem, which there just wasn't enough space for people to play Magic. Like, everything else about the event is awesome. The stuff that's set up inside is really cool. There's all these cool rooms. That's probably the best merch that they've had at any Magic event. So there's so many good parts. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people just want to go to an event so they can sit down and jam games and play Magic, and it just wasn't really set up for that unless you bought the Command Zone ticket. And even then, it wasn't really set up for it because so many people didn't have the Command Zone ticket that people with the Command Zone ticket were going outside to play because that's where the people they wanted to play with were.
Yeah, it's kind of these badges just are completely irrelevant. Like we play with people with all badges, and I never ask them, "Hey, what does this badge do?"
Hey, you got the wrong badge. Get away from me.
Yeah,
I'm not playing with you.
They actually say, "Yeah, I just got some swag. I don't know what Lotus launch or whatever." Who's gonna sit in the most bougie place with other like snobby people? Oh, I got so much money. And now I'm gonna go outside and play, I guess, because nobody. Like the problem with the Command Zone is, I guess they technically made sense that everybody could play if they wanted to, which meant that they had a lot of seats there, but then if not everybody plays, I guess it's bound to be empty. And yeah, it was pretty empty. Like day one looked kind of brutal, but day two, I mean, I had a lot of fun playing outside. It sounds a bit
and it wasn't quite as it wasn't quite as bad as the pictures made it look. I will say the pictures on Reddit definitely were taking the like full empty side of the Command Zone, which it was very empty, but if you went to the other angle, you would have seen some people actually playing there, even though it, like Richard said, it probably was like 25 to maybe 50% full at the max.
It was also in the beginning of the day that the Command Zone was empty. Like, I went
Someone
day two.
bolted it and took a picture.
No,
It's empty!
No, day two, me and
day
Phil
two,
came in, I don't know, like 10:30, gates, like it opened at 10, and I went, we wandered to the Command Zone eventually, so maybe we arrived maybe like at 11, and I took a picture and it was basically empty. But then later on in the day, we were going to the Command Zone place for open play, and it was actually full. It was so full that they were having an event and they kicked us out before we could start a game.
Well,
and we went back outside.
But was that because they opened it up and let people in that didn't have the right badge?
Well, they were using it for events and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say though, this felt more like a Comic-Con style event where you have like a couple really cool attractions and stuff. Like they had a lot of cosplayers and full sets where you can take pictures with them, and that looked really cool, and they had some statues that looked really nice as well. But it felt more like a Comic-Con and not like a Magic convention, because like Magic players want to come and play Magic, and like they should have known that. And I think they did know that, but it felt more like they wanted to just grab as much money as possible. And how much were our badges? Our badges were like $180. Like, yeah, we had spots outside, and we had enough for everybody to play, and it was fine. But even the tables weren't really made for playing Commander. They were too small to have your playmats all on it. And like, we're paying $180 for the luxury of playing outside on small tables and making the best of it with the community. Like, that's just not like, it shouldn't be acceptable. Like, that was bad. I don't know.
You know,
like, we had a great time.
You know,
it was
funny?
bad.
Outside is free, so like if you're just in Vegas, you don't have a badge, you can come because it's. So when we say outside, it's literally outside the door of the convention.
Yeah.
There's no badge.
I think you can get in there without a badge. I was talking to someone last night.
It's not technically. It's literally outside the front of the convention. Except it's not like we're playing on the floor, right?
Yeah.
They had like 20, 30 tables that I don't know. Normally you're supposed to eat lunch or something at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's pretty funny.
And Building B also was a place you could play with open play, but like also you have to leave the main area to go to it, which is like not great.
And there was such limited play that they were like rotating people through, where it was like play a game and then you got to move so the next people can play.
Yeah.
But what did you think, Grim?
Is it weird that I liked it?
I mean, I like
Like-
it.
I liked it too.
Like,
everybody enjoyed ourselves.
I mean, like, down to, like, it's already been mentioned, like, day one was obviously miserable in the Command Zone, because it was completely empty, but day two, they pulled it, or it seemed like everything fixed itself, for the most part. I still think that there's some issues with the play area, but, like, I love the celebration of Magic side of this. There's a lot of cool stuff to do, lots of, like, bright lights and whistles and, like, bells and whistles and things like that I really did enjoy and have always wanted, because I don't know if I like the idea, like, I kind of got bored of GPs because they were just, like, an open, empty place and just, like, a bunch of tables. Mm-hmm. So that just got real boring after a certain amount of time. So I am the demographic that loves the woos and the ahs, and I get to play Magic. But, but, like, it was amazing. I thought this was really good after starting at day two.
Yeah, I would say it's like a Comic-Con experience, except it's not. So it's like Comic-Con because it's just vendors and displays, except with Magic, all of the vendors and displays are the same.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
It's all
vendor
cards.
1 is the same as vendor 2 is the same as vendor 3, right? You take one loop around the sets and then you're done, right? And, you know, in a real convention, there's like, you know, different games or different whatever's represented. You can spend all day in the main exhibition hall. Here you take a lap and then you're done. And also at a real convention, you go to the main hall once and then you usually spend the rest of your day elsewhere at panels or, you know, whatever, right? So
Well, that was like what Game Nights Live was in that whole area, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But I liked it, but you know, it's clear that the vendors paid for this, right? There's like huge whatnot booths and like all vendors selling the same stuff and like grading companies and things like that, which is cool for a loop. But then we want to play Magic. So I think they should have opened that main hall up for free so that people, you know, not enfranchised in Magic come in and they will actually appreciate like the giant Magic, you know, world sets, and they would see all the, you know, cool Black Lotuses and things like that. And then charge a very small amount for free play area, right? And that free play area should be like huge.
Yeah.
Right? And I actually like outdoors. Outdoors was nice and like refreshing. No,
But-
no gamer perfume.
Yeah,
You know, COVID friendly. You know, like nice breeze and everything. Like there's no breeze in Vegas, so the worry is your cars get blown away. But I didn't see that at all. The problem was the sun. So if they just threw a big tent over us, which they actually had, but it was in another location, then I think that actually would have been the perfect free play area. Just like outside, nice Vegas air, and then go inside, do sweaty nerd stuff, and come back out and play.
I mean, we might get a little lucky too, because I know last weekend they had to cancel the festival that
yeah.
you went to actually because there were so high winds they couldn't even have like a concert.
There are high winds.
So
here.
there is potential for there to be high winds, although I don't know how normal that is. But yeah, so it did work out for sure, and the outdoor area was really, really cool. So any other thoughts, just general thoughts about the con?
there's also words, and
Oh, did you go? Wasn't it depressing?
So-
he was 10% of the audience.
yes, I'm lit. Wow.
Like
So
half of it.
Worlds is like the setup you see when you go to Twitch and see like the cool lights and stuff and people sitting there and the commentators. But you're sitting there on the outside with no speakers, so you don't get to hear what the commentators are saying. You see them like a few feet apart away from you, but you don't hear them. And then it's just silence. Like tops was 20 people watching. When Richard and I went, it was like 8 people watching.
Is there a place to sit there? When I
No,
walk by
no,
there,
no,
it seems like
no,
you're
no.
standing
You're
in a
just
row
standing
where
in
people
a
are
row.
trying to like go
Like,
by
it's-
you, and it's
screens.
It's like they don't even want people to watch that. I
Yeah.
mean, today is the final, and we will see it on the big stage where the Game Nights event was. And the Game Nights event was wild. Like there were people cheering for plays and stuff. I didn't get to watch it, but it looked amazing, honestly. And I'm pretty sure World's finals will be pretty cool. But we have to mention how depressing World looked. Wow, we sit there or stand there in silence.
You can hear the chairs like creak.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you walk into the hall, you're gonna hear like some whatnot guy screaming at the top of his lungs. Like, that guy has the voice of steel because he's screaming like literally 24/7 and like hyping everything up. But you go to the left and it's like a football stadium. Like people are cheering and stomping. There's hundreds or thousands of people watching Game Nights Command Zone live. And then you go to the right. It's pure silence. There's 10 people huddled around a monitor. There's no sound on that monitor for some reason.
For
Not even
some
showing,
reason.
you know, playing the commentary.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, Rafine attack.
Yeah.
Wandering Emperor.
I mean, we did the commentary.
And then-
we stand there.
yeah.
They wanted to attack.
It was really sad. There were like literally 10 people watching the highest levels of Magic. And then yeah, in the background you hear the whatnot guy and then like the roaring screams of Command Zone. So that was an interesting look into where Magic's headed.
Speaking of Worlds, I had someone who was playing at Worlds come up to me and have me sign their playmat and said if it wasn't for Against the Odds, they wouldn't be in Worlds. I was like, oh, that probably does not bode well for your Worlds experience, but thank you very much.
If they take Worlds with an against the odds decks, that would be amazing. Talking about the Whatnot guy though, so somebody told me yesterday that the Whatnot stream opened one of the scam boosters, the Magic 30
30th
ones,
anniversary,
and they opened about like $3 to $4 if the cards were real.
Yeah.
So even the original alpha was like, oh yeah, these are the real bad ones, which is it's more likely to get those than the other ones.
So one of the surprise quirks of the event was if you got the highest pass, the Black Lotus pass, by surprise, they gave all those people, I think there was 350 people that got that pass, 4 of the Magic 30th anniversary boosters, the $1,000 proxy boosters. So we kind of had those cards floating around. People were like cracking packs of them. We got to see a little bit of the prices because we could see what vendors were paying. I think, Krim, you randomly got to crack one of those packs, right?
Yeah, a supporter allowed me to open their pack, who was just randomly given to them.
Yeah, like Witzer's people were like randomly wandering around and like just handing out these $250 packs to randos, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I got to open it, and inside was actually a Mox Ruby.
Oh,
so
a real one?
Well, it was a
I mean, they're all
Magic
proxies.
30.
Sorry,
I mean, they were able to sell it, and then I just watched them walk
somebody's
out of there
dumb
with
enough.
a bunch of bills on that. Like, so it was like 500. They got like 500 for it.
Why would you
Yeah.
pay this?
Yeah, so
vendors
the vendors were buying them. We got to see a little look at prices. It seemed like Moxen were like $400 to $500 they were paying, and like Black Lotus was around $1,500, which honestly was less than I thought it would be, considering
Yo, you say
collector's
you should buy
edition
Black
prices.
Lotus.
No.
It's pretty low.
It seems low, but it's still just a proxy
And we
when
walk
it
over
comes
to
down to
CGC,
it.
slap it, and it's like 10 grand.
Yeah.
No, Black Lotus is expensive because it's old and rare. These ones are just cardboard.
I know people were thrilled though because it basically paid for their ticket.
Yeah.
Like if you got the Black Lotus ticket, you could go to a vendor and sell your packs for like $800, and you paid $700 for the ticket, so you got like $100 for actually just just going to the event.
Yeah,
Isn't
the rich
it really
people came
cool
in
that
for
like
free.
the richest patrons
Yeah.
that
That's-
managed to buy
that's
like,
how the
most
world works,
exclusive,
Tomer.
richest badges
You gotta
are
keep
just
the
giving their
whales
money
in
back
the
for
game.
free?
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
speaking of whales, I was talking to like a super whale that I've known from past events in the stream, but he was very turned off by this event to the point where he went Friday and didn't even go back yesterday, and it was like, to me this has just been so depressing with how this event's been run that I don't even know if I'm going to go to future events. And I am the whale that like Watsy wants to go to these events. I'm the person that has like the disposable money to blow on all this stuff. So I don't know. I think people were frustrated how segregated the community was with how the command zone and the play areas were for an event that was supposed to be celebrating Magic and like bringing people together. So that's a bit of just feedback that I heard from someone who definitely is in the whale demographic of people that you think the event would be for. So
Honestly, segregation is kind of a sad but true word for these badges. Like, in the end, they don't matter. Like, you play with whatever cut-off badge because everybody's playing outside. But the way they intended it to be was, like, literally to separate the community, I guess, right?
and with the command zone aspect in specific, I think, where you needed to have the badge, and the command zone was like half empty, and people would try to pay to like get into the command zone, and it wasn't possible. So yeah.
I would try to get a refund for the command zone, actually.
So anyway, what else did y'all do at the event? We kind of talked about our general impressions. I think we all got to jam a lot of games. Did anything especially memorable pop up as far as actually playing Magic at the event?
I saw that Homeward Path drags some decks so insanely hard that you should probably play it in every deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to sign a Homeward Path because somebody said like I heard from the podcast that it's insanely good, and it actually worked really well today. Can you please sign it? And I was like, yes. So let it be known, anybody listening,
Yeah.
Homeward Path, it's the real thing.
I mean, but you also got to sign a Hedron Archive, which
Somebody came to me with a Hedron Archive, and they said that I only run it in my Kozilek deck, which I also ran it in my Kozilek too. So I totally agree with it. So I wrote acceptable on it.
acceptable.
With a little check mark.
So what cards did you guys sign the most this weekend?
Oh, for me, it's always the same. Blood Moons and Panharmonicons, especially Panharmonicons, I think, at Commander, but yeah.
I probably signed like Opposition Agents. I signed like every Nico Bolas, and of course Notion Thief and a Mana Drain. So these are all very much so cards that I love. So yeah, it was really cool to sign all of the Nico Bolases.
I signed mostly Tireless Trackers, and funnily enough, I left my Tireless Tracker at home and had like a card bag with a piece of paper saying Tireless Tracker on my bonus deck, and then I went to a vendor and paid 4 times the price I would pay in Germany.
What do people have you signed, Richard? Do people bring birds? Does anyone bring birds?
So lots of Dousing Daggers and Secret Rendezvous.
Yeah.
That was by far the most. there was one Cartographer's Hawk, and I signed more Cartographer's Hawk than I ramped Cartographer's Hawk. And then there were a lot of Jund connoisseurs. I signed a bunch of Lilianas too. I'm like these 60 card players on the verge of extinction. You know, we got our Lily side, so we got a pretty good spread.
Yeah. Speaking of Jund connoisseurs, the first day when we walked in, we were looking at the merch, and they had this like Tarmogoyf shirt with a massively misspelled Tarmogoyf, which that was like emblematic of day one. I
Not
think.
the shirt.
No, like the advertising describing what it was.
I would pay for this.
I would pay for this shit.
It's a
misspelled shirt. I would pick it up.
What was the most expensive card you signed? Because I know some people actually like. It blows my mind that people have us sign expensive cards.
I must get off my chest, and I apologize if you're listening. So somebody came to me with a Yawgmoth wheel, but like in pristine condition, and I don't even know how much it is now. I think I saw a vendor selling it for like $750.
Yeah.
But he came up to me and he's like, "I want you to go wild on this card." Like apparently he's going to all content creators and that he likes, and he's making a CDH deck full of just like alters from them. And he gave me a Yawgmoth to work on, so I'm like, okay, this is a huge card. I'm going to not like really screw it up. I'm gonna do something kind of like tame. So I put googly eyes on it and like an angry expression on it, and it looks good. And I signed it. I'm like, you know what? This actually looks good. I'm actually happy with this.
You increase the value of the Yawgmoth with your great art.
I put my signature on it, please. But then he's like, you know, like he showed me other versions of things that people did, and they actually did one while they did like full alters on, like he showed lion's eye diamond that looked like somebody drew an actual lion on it. It looked really nice. And then he went to you guys at the other table and he said the same thing, but he also mentioned that like I only put googly eyes on it.
Yeah.
So I felt like, oh my god, I let him down. Like I should have done something a little bit more. So I called him back, and I'm like, hey, I have an idea.
Can I have another go at this Yawgmoth?
I'm going to draw Cauldra on it. So I pull out my phone, I take Cauldra, and I start drawing on it, and it does not work. All right, I draw a yellow line, and that's a sword. I draw a yellow rectangle, and that's a shield. And then I have to do the face, and I'm drawing like over the face, and I'm trying to make like this thing, but it's like you can't do it with the markers, and I'm also just bad, and I draw like just like rectangle over its face, and the end result is just like, it looks like some like 5-year-old like got hands on the markers and accidentally went through their parents' collection. It's so bad, and I felt so bad. I take it back.
I had a piece of this deck as well, and I could have gone harder, but I just took this kind of crashed as well. I took a Cyclonic Rift, and I just wanted to write, please don't play this on it, but then I did a typo, because I did the exclamation mark on the this before I could do an S, and then I kind of did the S and the exclamation mark like in one thing, so now it's like, please don't play. It's like, oh my god! I mean, you did say it was a shit post cube deck, so I guess it is. Oof, it looks pretty.
I'm curious if it's the same. Is it a CDH cube or a CDH deck?
It is a deck.
Okay.
It is a cube. Oh yeah, right. It was so many cards. Yeah.
Because if it's that person, that same person gave me a Gaia's Cradle.
Oh yeah.
So I doodled on that, and I drew a giant ooh-woo face and a smile, and then I just like scribbled all over it.
Oh my god.
So I gladly helped to deface that reserve loose card.
I gotta get started. Oh, I gotta get some background. So the Commander Clash podcast is going up later this week, and in it we talk about our Vegas experience, like outside of the event. And it was recorded before this. Now, in that, you may hear that Seth was up massively gambling, like, against all odds. Well, the other morning, I went down to visit Seth gambling, and we burned through several hundred bills, and it may look bad. It may look very bad.
Yeah,
but,
you were gonna gamble, and it convinced you not to.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna gamble, and Seth taught me a very valuable lesson
still up?
about gambling.
Well, sort of. I think Richard's getting to that.
Okay.
So yesterday, I was wandering the hall, and I was like, I'm gonna check out the command zone, and I'm like, is that Seth over there? So I walk over there, and Seth is selling this fat stack of Magic cards, okay? Like, fat stack of, like, collector, booster, like, foily things. And the guy's like, So Seth's selling a Mox Diamond, okay? And the guy's like, what's the fair price for the Mox Diamond? And Seth's like, okay. Then they do the deal, and then he's like, yo, can you guys sign this? And then me and Seth signed the Mox Diamond that Seth sold to the vendor.
What is the price like?
Yeah. One of the people working there wanted it. It was like the last piece for their deck, so they get to like own my Mox Diamond and have it signed or something. So it kind of ended up working out, but yeah, it definitely wasn't to pay for gambling debts.
I don't know about that. I asked Seth to secure his debit card, and he just ran away. So I'm not sure.
Oh, what about gameplay? Any interesting games? I know. Actually, the very first game we got to play, we went there on day one. We went to Building B to find a place to play, which is a way off building that no one knew about because it was like empty. And I got to play with our editor, Neatuk, was playing, and you ended up killing us with door to nothingness. You like killed the table with door to nothingness, and that was a pretty epic finish. So
Yeah, you
that
played
was,
the recounts in this one.
yeah.
I think it's like right off.
Yeah, he's just off screen.
We need to introduce him, but he's the man behind the curtain.
But any other memorable games that you guys played?
Yeah, we played such a long game yesterday. Like Toma, Neotic, I, and a fan played for like 2.5 hours.
Ooh.
And I actually won with Lowness, with combat. Infinite clues, get him in there.
I'm
and I
very
had
proud of
counter
Phil
backup.
because he actually leveled up as a commander player. He's not just a Dirtle player, but now he actually Dirtles and he has a finisher in his deck.
Yes,
What's
it
the
is.
finisher?
I mean, I borrowed a Finale of Devastation,
Ah.
and I put a Shrieking Drake in my deck, so now
No,
I
but
can
you
actually...
also, how did you kill us? What was
I
the
mean,
card that
so
killed us?
I had Academy Manufacturer, Lowness, and a Shrieking Drake. Shrieking Drake is 1 blue mana, play, bounces a
Oh, so
creature,
you're
bounces,
infinite.
bounces itself, so
Yeah.
since Lowness creates a clue, Academy Manufacturer creates a treasure, so it pays for itself, so you create infinite food and infinite clues. Sadly, Thomas stole my Panharmonicon, otherwise I would have just drawn my deck for the finale.
Oh.
So I did kind of do the, hey, I have infinite this and pass the turn, but I did have counter backup, and then I...
No, but the clues don't kill. What?
I killed with Rise and Shine
Fair
afterwards.
Hey,
Turned everything into
Who
food.
would've thought?
nice.
Yeah.
Specifically to kill people.
There is a win
Yes,
card.
yes, there is. I mean, it was 2.5 hours into the game, and everybody went off multiple
So the
times.
fact is that's in your
Already.
deck. I'm happy.
It was a crazy game, and afterwards there was another game, and I also killed people with combat with clues. It's working now, and that was also a crazy game. So one player was playing John. You knew the card, like I think it was
Ognis.
No, the one that gifts the cards to your
John Arenicus.
Yeah, so there's a commander that donates creatures to your opponents, and he played creatures that are very bad for the controller. But the player next to me had a homeward path, and John can't beat this. So some command like Lowness is already pretty bad against homeward path, but man, some commanders get wrecked by this. So pick up the card. It's very expensive, I think, but
Not financial.
man, it does a lot. Yeah.
I
Also
kept
crazy game.
packing certain WotC staffs to reprint it. I'm like, you know what card is really awesome that's been doing really well today? Homeward Path. You know what card has never been reprinted before, except for like I think a Judge foil or something? Homeward Path. Just be cool if a commander card would go in Commander Precon. You know, that'd be
Oh,
cool.
precon. Yeah, they could just print it
Or
everywhere.
you can
right?
print it
Yeah.
anywhere. It would be nice. Just WotC staff if you're listening.
What
It's expensive.
What about you, Krim? Any good games?
So I had 2 moments that were pretty memorable. One was that I ended up losing a game because they actually let me ultimate my Ugin.
Oh.
And
What?
then, that wasn't what lost me. It was just really wild that the table agreed, like, you know what, let's let him
That's
Ugin.
fine, yeah.
So that I stopped blinking my Spark Double, copying Ugin, and then exiling, right? And so it was correct to
Oh,
let me
God.
and then let it get off the board, so then this way I can stop sweeping and exiling all the time.
Fun.
And then I end up losing to like the Kiki Jiki Pestermite combo, right? The twin combo.
Yeah.
A man after my own heart.
Like yeah, like it was hilarious. Like the table was just like sitting there, like, you know what, we're actually gonna let you ultimate that. And the other play was that I was playing with a buddy and two others, and I can't believe I got to hear it in the year 2022, but he just goes and says, I can't believe I'm going to lose to Alpha Sector because I resolved my Space Bellerin.
Oh, you got it?
And yeah, so I got a Space Bellerin. The card is like actively bad in my Super Friends deck, but I just wanted to play it because it's Space Bellerin and it's legal. So I just got to hear him like hand in head. I can't believe I'm losing to Alpha Sector. Oh, God. Ice Cube.
How about you, Tomer? Any epic games?
Well, my Perforos deck got to do its thing. Tashiro got to do its thing. I think I got another one. Oh, but the coolest thing I think was actually there's a free spell that is like, you know, everybody talks about Fierce Guardianship, deflecting squat. I got hosed by Obscuring Haze.
Yes, the fog.
So I was busting out Perforos because we just had, I just played with Phil, and we played like a 2.5 hour game, and we all played combat deck. We all decided we busted out, we're going to play our aggro decks for game 2. And Neotic was with me in this game as well. I busted out Perforos for a fast one, and I went for basically what could have been a lethal attack. I had an extra combat creature on the battlefield, Port Razor. I had Dragon Mage to refill my hand. I had some Goldspan Dragon to make me extra mana. So I was about to clear out the table if nobody had an answer. Somebody busts out Obscuring Haze, and the problem is that all my creatures, all the extra combats, the more mana that I need to make, the hand refill, all of that required combat damage. So I went all out on that one attack, and I just got fogged for. I think it was the free fog. Yeah, Obscuring Haze, and I just did nothing. I just said, well, that sucks. I heard a giant laugh, and then I just sacrificed all my stuff. Went to put Perforos back as a non-creature, and I just died with 2 mountains in my hand. So that was really cool to see that card that's like kind of underrated. Just completely crushed me.
And if you want to see Perforos lose, you should check out last week's Commander Clash.
Oh, boy.
Do you ever win with that deck, Tomer?
Oh, yeah.
Dismantled.
You won with it against Joda and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, you were playing Joda, and no, you were playing Lonus. Somebody was playing Joda, and somebody was playing what's a djinn that flips coins, and he had Quark somehow.
Oh, the one that Krim always gets extra turns with.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh, wait. What's his name? Usury?
Usury, something like that. Yeah.
It was a pretty high power table, and I brought out Perforos and it did its thing. And then the next time I bring out Perforos, it got soundly.
Got fogged.
Yeah, it soundly trunks, but you know, I had my fun.
How about you, Richard?
Undefeated with Birdman.
I haven't lost all weekend. I'm counting on our fans.
With birds of all
Fledgling
things.
Osprey.
So I foiled out Fledgling Osprey, and all the birds are foil, and the power is just unimaginable.
It is.
It is 1 mana, 1/1 flyers.
I
Sometimes
think
they don't even
we've done like
fly.
4 or 5 pods this weekend. I haven't lost. There was a lot of close games. Krim would have been proud. There was a game with 2 mono green players, a Vorinclex and a Questing Beast. Birds can't block Questing Beast, by the way. He took 20 commander damage. But 2 Nissas. They both played Nissas after each other, and Vorinclex was on the battlefield in one of them. So that Nissa ultimated right away. So Krim would have been very pleased at this table. But you know what, Krim? They both lost. The birds took down even through an ultimated Nissa.
Thank God.
But my favorite match was one of our fans didn't have a deck, so I gave him the Tyranid deck I had, the Warhammer Precon.
Oh yeah.
The game was super close. He actually was about to win, and he had like a 9/9 green creature and a 5/5 red creature. I was at 2 life, and he had the thing like the first non-creature spell deals 2 damage to you. So I was locked out of casting spells, but I had a protection from Redbird, and I had a Toski, and I had Derevi, so I could Derevi has Toski has to attack, right? But then I untap it with Derevi, and I would use those 2 protection and indestructible blockers to block, and then I eventually drew a River Hoopy.
Oh, yeah,
Gained
yeah.
life, and then I could finally gain enough life so I could actually cast spells again. And then I clutched it out at the end. But the Warhammer decks really impressed me. I've seen lots of people playing them this weekend, and they don't run out of cards. They're like super powerful,
Yep.
super synergistic. So I was actually quite impressed by them.
Yeah, I got to play a Warhammer deck this weekend too. I brought the mono black one with me, and I was also like, for being a precon, blown away with just how well those decks played. You have one too, Phil, right?
Yeah,
How did
we played. I got mana screwed, and then I died before I could get Door to Nothingness.
Yeah.
But yeah, the decks are just probably the best precons I've seen. I mean, I haven't seen many precons, but I can't imagine the other ones. You just don't run out of cards. You do synergistic things, and they just feel like great decks, and they look amazing. It kind of feels bad to tear them apart. Although we did play against Magnus Kalga deck, like a
like not the
separate
precon,
deck.
Yeah, in the
and
2.5 hour slugfest.
yeah, that was. We also found out that is it Fairy Artisan?
Very artisan.
Yeah,
The
this
other
one
was
will be
Fairy
insane
Artisan
in
was
this
absolutely destroying us with it. It's the one that whenever another opponent's creature enters the battlefield, an opponent's creature enters the battlefield, you make a token copy of it, and then when the next one enters the battlefield, you destroy the previous token, you make a new token copy of the next one. And so, like, all our ETB, like, you know, destroy target creature, well, I'll destroy someone of yours, and then it was like, impossible to deal with.
This one will be great in Kalga, though. Like, you're gonna draw with every creature.
How many proxies have you guys seen? Because I think one thing I've noticed with these games is there's been quite a few people playing proxies, and we've had some tables where people have, like, blinged out $10,000 decks, and someone comes in with proxies, and everyone's just super cool about it. So I think that we've seen this, like, I think it was already a little bit like that, but with the 30th anniversary edition, I think we've seen even a bigger shift to people just being like, proxy whatever you want, play whatever you want, no one cares.
I've never seen a proxy discussion or even a power level discussion. Like, everyone's just cool.
Yeah.
Everybody's
right?
just like,
Just
I want to
assume
do
it to be
this,
good,
and I'm
right?
like, okay, I'll bring something that I think looks like that, and then I do, and we have to begin. I've never had really a lopsided game yet. I didn't see a lot of proxies, though. I saw like one or two.
Yeah.
You can really, like, since secret layers are a thing, I don't know if this is a proxy or a secret layer, honestly.
I don't even know. We couldn't
knows?
see any of the cards because it was too dark, and all the cards had weird art and foreign
Oh.
languages.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything was going on.
Yeah,
I thought Krim got gifted some secret lair or something. They're like these concert style
They
things.
were proxies.
Yeah, but they look like, if you told me these were secret lairs, I would not even hesitate to believe you. Like they look like something that was a secret lair.
Yeah, honestly, Wizards kind of shot themselves in the foot if they don't want proxies. Like, now they literally sell proxies.
And it could be a
But
secret
even
lair
with
now,
secret
like, you can
layer,
say that.
like, you can just...
I think it was a gray area before, but now it's not gray.
there's
anymore.
no gray, yeah.
I think
It's
it's
not
very
like
clear
people-
what the community has chosen, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing that's stopping me from proxying stuff is I love very high-quality print, and I...
So what you're saying is you should buy 30th anniversary edition to get some high
But
quality
also, like,
proxies.
if you want foil stuff, then you're just better off buying proxies. right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
sit down.
so-
So I will say
yeah.
that I think our fans are dunking on all the other pods because I have never seen so many dousing daggers, secret rendezvous, coveted jewels.
Yeah.
Do you guys not see your temples under attack? Like, I saw a shockingly
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
high frequency of these cards, right? Everyone memes on them, but our fans know where it's at because I've seen so many of them this weekend.
It's the Richard
Yeah.
impact on the Commander meta.
He's shifting the meta.
But it was Seth played coveted jewel.
And yeah,
Secret rendezvous.
yeah, I had a dowsing dagger. I got
Dowsing
all the
dagger.
Richard
You got
All Stars
all
in that deck, and the deck actually felt really good.
Is
So
this the Fibblefip one?
no, this is the Mono White Abdul Adrian background deck.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the best parts about these events is getting to meet fans.
Oh, yeah.
So a couple of questions here. First, Phil, you've never done a big Magic event, or really any Magic
Anything,
event.
yeah.
How's it
It's
been?
amazing.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody who came up to me, you're all amazing. This is so cool. And turns out that putting the chef's hat on my signature was kind of a cool move because now I can put the chef's hat on the characters on the cards if they ask me to. Like,
smart.
I signed a Waynota and she has a chef's hat now. So this was kind of unintended, but
And
pretty
there's
cool
that
move.
hat tribal theme for
Oh, yeah.
Infinity.
Oh,
That's like one of the
wow,
big
this is
events,
actually-
so you're like improving
Yeah.
people's decks.
I
Yeah.
just put hats on people, yeah. Oh yeah, this is just... In the beginning it was a bit overwhelming, but also in a positive way, and now it's just positive. Like, I'm super excited for this last day, and yeah, this is just amazing.
What about the rest of you guys? Any memorable fan experiences outside the game?
Well, somebody
there.
gifted me a comic book with my favorite Magic artist is Rebecca Gay, and a fan was really nice and gifted me a Magic the Gathering comic book. I think it's Homelands, and it's
Ooh.
the artist is by Rebecca Gay, and like you can see on the back of it, there's like this beautiful like full length thing. Yes.
Oh, that's right
Oh,
there.
Over there. You can't see the back of it because there's like a backing of it, but it even keeps like the original price tag on it. And it's like a
The
mystery
cover is
magic
not
card
by
as well.
Rebecca, I think.
Yeah.
But the rest is
Yeah, the cover art is not Rebecca Gay, but everything else is. And the back art is Rebecca Gay.
So is $1.50 its price back in the day or its current price?
I don't know.
Price.
Oh, okay. It is home. It is
Yeah.
Homelands after all.
But it was really nice, and I'm really excited to pick that up. We also, like, I don't know how many of you all signed our limited edition
Oh.
playmat.
yeah.
I think
Yes.
I
Oh, my
went
God.
through at least like 50 of them. Like,
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah, tons of Goldfish playmats here. Like, so thank you to everyone who picked up playmats.
Yeah.
I've been blown
That's
away
why
by
we're
how many
here.
people actually have
It
those.
funded
Yeah.
that trip, so.
We double signed so many. Like they bought the full signature ones,
Yeah.
and then we put ours
On the
there.
other side or over
Yeah.
the
I
top
saw
or
Chris'
below it.
signature was different every single time.
Yeah. It's graded over
Every time we get a play, I'm like, why is Crib's signature look like this today?
The tips of like certain pens would like stick on the mat, so then I'd have a hiccup and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh no. So now I'm just gonna use my own Sharpie so it's the same all the way around.
I'm surprised how international it is.
That I was
I
gonna
met
say that too.
Some cool people from France and Germany.
Yeah.
But there was like people from Australia, like Shanghai,
I met a
Hawaii.
lot of people from Singapore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Singapore. Like,
A bunch of people from South America. There's
yeah.
all
And they
like
drove
really
up,
worldwide.
crazy people.
Oh, yeah.
Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, people talking about 20-hour flights to get in and just like yeah,
This one
it's
got a 20-hour drive, man. I'm like,
Wow.
Is this worth?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
yeah.
You got a command zone pass, that's buddy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's been really awesome to meet everyone. So many super cool people. But any other thoughts on the event or questions for the group?
Did you all buy any little geary?
That's my greatest regret that I didn't get it. It looks so
Yo,
cute.
there
but
was
I'm
actually
really?
a lot of cool merch. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
What'd you get, Krim?
I ended up getting the denim jacket because very rarely does Magic, like, I feel like, nail it on the merch front. So it was just wild to me that I saw this denim jacket. It's got like the patches all over it, but they're like mana symbols. It says Magic, Hammer of Bogdan, like all of this other stuff. So there's like these patches all over the black denim jacket, and it's all Magic related. It's super nice. And on top of that, as you probably figured out, I bought like Lil Geary, the secret layer, and I got a Lil Geary pin. I got a Space Jace pin. So yeah, I got like that and like a Brainstorm shirt. There was like a lot of sweet stuff at the merch booth.
I will say the merch was pretty good for Magic. I'm used to Magic merch being a little cringy, most of it, and
Yeah.
a lot of it is like that jacket was super cool. There's
Right.
another retro jacket too, the non-denim
The
one. That
blue
also,
and gold, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
also I've seen, and that one looked really cool. So I was kind of impressed with the merch too.
I would have bought the Tamro Golf shirt if it would say the name. It's just wild to me.
It's worth 2 Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah.
Someone told me it's worth 2 Tarmogoyfs. I'm like, what? Tarmogoyf is $15. I'm so sad. That shirt was $30.
Yeah,
I really want that Little Geary, but I cannot justify. It's like the lineup is really long.
How long did you wait?
I waited only an hour and a half.
Most people are
Only?
saying
That's
it's
like
like
a
an
whole
hour and a
Commander
half.
game.
So long.
I mean,
But like, yeah, that's
But
like.
Krim was like, anyone want anything? No one said anything.
yeah.
Anyone was in line to buy merch
What?
too.
Okay,
no
yeah,
one,
they-
no one bought
yeah,
anything. We had
but-
people in merch lines. We could.
I didn't even know that there was a Magic 30 until he came out with it. I'm like, what? There's a secret layer thingy here, and it's adorable.
it is really
Yeah.
cute.
I think part of it too is I'm not used to waiting in con lines because I was talking to Krim and Krim was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
an hour and a half, this
Yeah.
is nothing. Like, this is like
But,
super
like-
normal, not a big deal. And I'm like, wow, no way I'm going to wait an hour and a half
Yeah.
for
Like,
tickets and
The
merch.
Comic Con like Hasbro line was like 6 hours to get a voucher to get into another line.
Why
Oh,
did
God.
you do this?
So
It's pretty much all attractive. You go to like Disneyland, it's just line simulator.
Yeah,
You go to
yeah.
PAX, Comic Con, it's just line simulator.
But like an hour and a half, that's like a Commander game. That's meeting with a lot of extra fans and
That's
stuff.
like 20 ranks
yeah.
and Snap, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what Marvel Snap is for.
That's like-
I was playing that in the line
Yeah,
the
I
whole
mean,
time, so
I guess-
I didn't even
I
notice
guess
the
if you're in the
line.
lineup, yeah, you just snap it up a bit.
One of the unique things about this event, other than having good merch for lunch, is they had these little rooms set up with different themes. And part of the free play,
So cool.
it was like not great for free play because it was like 3 or 4 tables. But the idea was you can do a casual Commander game, in this themed room that maybe has like a cosplayer there or something. What do you think of that idea? Like, let's assume there's enough place to play outside of there, and that's not a concern. Is that something we'd like to see more of? Like, does that add to the experience, having the ambiance of this like cool design room for your game?
The Talarian Academy with a Teferi,
Yes.
you know, like there hanging out. Like it was really cool. Or Liliana's lair, where it was like super like necromancer, all of that kind of stuff.
And the cosplayers there, like
They
had Liliana.
they went
Olivia,
above and beyond.
I mean, it's cosplayer's dream, right? It's like free
Teferi
set.
was there.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I took a picture of Teferi. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
same.
Yeah, as did I. I loved
I
it.
mean, playing there though, it's really loud. So maybe
Right.
maybe they could put it somewhere that's a little bit quieter in sort of the middle of the main hall.
I mean, they should just make it like a little cafe or break areas. Right?
Oh
So
my
as long
God,
as they don't
that'd be
make
so
it
cool.
the primary free play area, like it's
Yeah.
just extra. Like
Yeah.
you know, when you're walking around the con and you're tired, you just sit down at the bar or whatever, right?
Maybe that's the command zone pass. It's like a special lounge where you play with in theme. Well,
That's called the Black Lotus.
Yeah,
Lounge,
that's
right?
the-
We didn't see it because we're plebs.
whoa! Wow.
They did have that.
Yeah, I wonder does anybody know what the Black Lotus Lounge looks like?
Imagine not being
Mm. Nope.
It looks like any other room,
Probably,
except
right?
there's water in there. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
Did they give you Magic 30th packs?
we've been into the VIP lounge at previous Magic Festival.
Oh, the
right?
previous one,
Yeah,
the previous
like-
one we got into somehow because they just didn't care or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
there were
like
free cookies.
a few cookies and some
Wow.
water, I
Cookies, though.
think, was pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah.
about it. But
That's $600 cookies.
and there was
bro.
like no one
I mean,
there.
they're free if you eat $600.
I
worth of
imagine the
cookies.
one here probably has like a special merch line where you can pay even more money for more
Oh.
merch.
Yeah.
So speaking of merch, so Krim took us to the comic book shop. I forgot we talked about the
Yo.
other one.
Oh, that was actually good.
So we were there, and you know they had like crazy comics. They had like $400,000 like statues, but you know the normal statues were like $600. Like yo,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need this Carnage. I need this Venom. So we saw all of those.
I was trying to convince Richard to get a company Venom.
Yeah.
How do we use a company
Well, Watsy
Venom?
has a dragon, right? So we need
No, but so
something.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, why doesn't Magic have this? And then at the con, they had this Liliana. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Yeah.
There's one in the
Yeah.
Whatnot booth, and there's one in one of the vendors. It's like a Liliana at the chain veil and zombies coming to the ground. $1,800.
There was also a flip
Yeah.
of
That
that.
was so
I was like,
nice.
do we need a company Liliana? I'm
That
like, what do we do
Lily
with
was
this?
so good though. I mean, it's okay. We could
I
just
mean,
get
how
that
many
really
playback is this, Richard?
creepy like
Do it.
Chandra. Do you remember the creepy Chandra that was like $1,000
Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
life size,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and its face and all that looked cursed.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you just buy that. That's great.
No. This Lily was fire though.
It
I'm
looked-
like,
The Lily was
if that goes on
really good.
90% discount,
You know what we do?
90.
We show up when they're closing and they're packing up and be like, hey,
Hey, you don't
I
want to
see
take
you
that.
want 1,800. How
Yeah.
about 18?
$18.
Yes.
you don't want to pay for shipping on that.
I mean-
Yeah, I'm a little short. Can you spot me the difference?
Yeah. Look, I have these Magic 30th cards.
Yeah.
I'll trade you.
That's not even if you got a pack of Magic, it's not enough. You need 2 of them.
Oh.
to hit this
Yeah.
Lily. Oh man.
So yeah, any other event thoughts? Anything? All right, Richard, fish mail us.
Why aren't you guys posting any spoilers?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, this is going to be the first spoiler season I've missed in I don't even know how long. Amonkhet or something. Although Richard, they're still going on the site, right?
Yep. I am
Really?
doing my
Wow.
Nieruk impression, posting spoilers in the morning and at night. And thank God they show them in weird video formats, all slanted, so that makes it very easy for us to post.
Yeah, a lot
They
of this
actually
has been
previewed a lot of
reviewed.
cards at Magic 30. And they also did it. They also had like the giant cards on the floor to preview as well.
Are there new cards there? I saw on day one it was all cards we knew about, but are there like?
There's some new,
there's
there's
some
some new
unknown ones?
schematics or retro frame
Oh.
thingies.
They also previewed the pre-cons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did the
on first
pre-cons
day,
while we were
which was really
here.
cool.
The old border pre-cons.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure today they have a dedicated preview panel,
Wait, they
which
do?
is, that's
No.
like the first
No.
the first event of the
No,
day
Sam.
is like a dedicated preview panel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, the weird thing was I usually watch Seth's video.
So I have no idea what's going
Yeah,
on.
so I went to bed and thought like, yeah, just watch the video and said that I guess I don't, and now I don't know. This morning I tried to get some of the previews down here, but I can't. I do this afterwards. I have a
Yeah.
whole flight all the way to Orlando next day.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a
but,
fishmail question though. A lot of people have been asking me this. They're like, "What do you think of the new Thanos?" And Thanos is, I don't know, he's a 4-drop, 5-drop in Simic. Is that right?
Oh, it is?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Simic,
yeah.
and then whenever you cast a beast or a bird, create an artifact copy of it.
You
Wow.
have a commander now.
This is blasphemous. I don't want beasts in my deck.
You have Toski in your deck. What are you
Wait, is
talking
Toski
about?
a beast?
No,
Toski's
it's
a
Squirrel, yeah.
No, it is
But
all
it's definitely
useless.
not a bird.
Wow.
Just play all birds and then create a wolf as a payoff. Like,
No, but you just put birds in your deck and you put Thanos. Doesn't it make sense?
No. God, why am I copying my 1/1s? It's not
Because
worth
then
the
you have
price
double the
of
Toski
It's
triggers.
when you play that as your commander, though.
No.
Why am I copying?
It's in the
my
right
1/1?
colors to have
Because
Toski.
it's not
But
effective.
you
So
need the white
Thanos-
birds. You need the white birds. It's Simic, right?
Yeah, it is Simic. Thanos is a 5-mana 3/5 legendary human artificer. Whenever you cast a beast or a bird creature spell, you can copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other types.
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet.
That is.
Nah. Great.
That's good for beasts, because beasts
That's
are
good
big.
for Travel
Yeah.
Tribe, I guess.
But but with birds, you get to draw more cards because you get 2 birds instead of 1, as long as you get Toski.
Yeah, 2 birds,
two
one
birds,
Thanos.
two birds in the hand. Well, one bird in the hand is worth more than two.
Worth two in the Thanos, yeah.
What is this expression?
It's
I think
double
that's it.
Toskies.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it seems great.
So yeah, so no actual spoiler videos this go around, but check out mtgpreviews.com because Richard is still getting them all uploaded, and we'll do all the set review stuff and whatnot next week after everyone's back from Vegas. So anyway, any other final thoughts on the way out the door?
All right, give me a rating, D to S plus
On the
on Magic 30. Like
Yeah.
the whole experience. Now that we've experienced it all, would you say it's a success or a failure? And this is basically the return of Magic post-COVID, right? I would say the COVID protocols. Everyone's actually following them. Everyone's
Yeah.
wearing masks, lots of sanitizer. They're actually checking.
And it
Yeah.
helps that we've been outside most of the time
Yeah,
too.
and we're outside most of the time, so we're good.
I will give it an overall B plus because I think the main hall looks very cool. The community is an S plus. Both the people we played with, but also the people who are running it are really nice people, and they're just trying to help and do their best. But like the payment system is really bad, and the fact that it's so predatory and it's so anti-open play, it feels really really bad, and that's what's weighing it down right now.
I give it about a B plus as well. And with pretty much this like echoing the same thing, like the open play area is just not there.
It's so hard to give it an overall grade because the community is awesome, but I think the event is pretty floppy and kind of a lot of it I would consider to be a failure.
I heard game nights is really nice, and we just missed that entirely.
Yeah.
I caught I caught that because I was in the
You
line.
got- But everybody who's watched it said it was great. Like it was an
Yeah.
amazing event.
Yeah.
It was like actually like watching like wrestling.
Yeah,
And
it
it felt
sounded like
fun watching
Yeah.
that, right? Where like there was a character to follow, like you're watching sports or something.
So maybe if I caught that, I would like it even more. But
I guess I gotta go like C probably. Like the community is great, but I think the event itself hasn't been that. I think that it's been super fun, but that's because the community is awesome, and we found a way to make it super fun despite all the flaws of the actual event and the organization.
I mean, for me, it's hard because I'm obviously super excited about all of this. So for me personally, fun-wise, it's an S plus, sure. The rest should probably be a D. I mean, they segregate the community on purpose, and the thing we do all the time is the thing we could do for free.
Yeah.
And the rest is just trying to sell us stuff. I guess the game night stuff bumps it up to a C. I guess it's a C. It is so.
Wow, you guys are so brutal.
I-
So day one, D, like horrendous, right? Maybe I just had low expectations, but I would say it's an A. I think it's really good. I think the free play area actually worked out. But I like the outdoor area, the sweaty
But
inside.
it should be free. It is free.
It actually literally is.
Not
Even
the
though no one
event.
knows, but like if I paid $160, I got to play Magic all weekend.
Yeah.
Right. We
Yeah.
didn't
Yes.
really have to fight for tables. Right. Maybe the first couple hours. Right. But
That's because we weren't in the event. We were literally not in Magic 30.
Yeah.
But it's like it's part of like they come and clean the tables. There's a guy sanitizing the chairs, right?
Okay.
It's
Food
part of
courts do this, Richard. If you play at a food court, you would
it's
say
part of the venue. Okay,
Wow.
it's part of the venue, right? So I actually feel like I had a lot of fun this weekend.
Oh, I
I had fun.
Right? If you ask me, was it worth the flight here? Was it worth the $150? Is it worth eating overpriced Vegas food that did not taste good sometimes? Right? Like,
Most
yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
It was-
it's
yeah.
obviously
It's a
super fun.
one-in-a-lifetime experience.
And
I mean, that's a hang out podcast.
maybe it took the community to put it together, but I think by day 2, and I think today will be awesome too.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually more than I could have hoped for. I was really expecting nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I was really expecting us to be like playing on the ground, playing at the Golden Nugget, like in the slot machines or something, right? But
Yeah.
I think it
I
was
mean,
actually
I
good.
guess it's a C+.
I will
Gotta
also
keep it
say,
real, though.
I've got to talk to. We saw this actually happening at this event where they opened up the command zone yesterday after not doing it on day 1. And I've talked to some people at WotC that are hanging out at the event, and they've heard the feedback from the community that people want a place to play at these events. So even though this is the first event like this that they've done, not only post-COVID, but like this con style event that they've really ever done. So I think there's high hopes for a future one of these that is really going to nail it. Like this event plus more free play area and everyone being able to play Commander together, like that would be just an S plus in every way. So I think that future events are going to learn from this one and probably really like nail it. So even though I think this one off to a bit of a rocky start, I think we've already seen improvement even at this event, and I think the future ones are going to be even better because I know that Wizards has heard the feedback that Magic players want a place to play Magic, because I've had people from WotC like tell me that, like, we've heard what everyone's saying, like it's going to be different in the future. So
Oh, did anyone arena and chill, or did that flop? they set up some arena chill areas where supposedly you can go
Where?
meet an opponent and challenge. I don't
Building B had some of the couches in Building B
Yeah.
was supposed to be arena and chill.
Wait, so you play
Why
on
would
your
you play
phone?
Arena?
I
Via
can play on
mobile
your
data?
phone.
I mean, there's know.
Do you play against someone else sitting there?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
you-
I think you're supposed to be like, yo,
Do they have
friendly,
wireless
wait, direct
internet
challenge.
or something? You can't
I'm-
do this over mobile data. That's
I'm
We have data if we actually live here.
I'm
There's
surprised.
Wi-Fi at the convention too.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
surprised they don't have
Okay.
more arena stuff. Honestly,
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
not a booth where you play
I
against
mean,
people or anything like
Worlds
that.
is-
Like that was a little bit
Worlds
weird.
is arena.
Yeah.
Honestly,
where's
maybe
the Daybreak
What's
Games
happening?
booth?
Yeah.
Honestly, Worlds might clutch out a better grade for me today. Like, first of all, still S plus for me personally. But if Worlds is like super hype with like a big crowd and stuff, this might actually be insanely fun. Like the finals today.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have to be harsh on them though. They do try to segregate the community, and we have to play outside. Like when we went to the event to get our badges, we made fun about, they're gonna make us play outside, and now we said, I guess
Hey,
the convention flu.
At least we're not playing in a
At least
pizza
we have a
hut
table.
down
I
the road
mean-
somewhere. Anyway, I think that brings us to the end of episode 405 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. So, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks to all the crew for hanging out. Thanks to Card Conduit for supporting the show. And we will be back next week to talk about probably Brothers War spoilers and whatever else goes on in the world of Magic. So, until then, have a great week, everyone. And this is the crew signing out.